Today, we're going to show you how to assemble the gripper attachment for the Bit Board Rover. First, gather the parts you need to assemble the gripper. Locate the servo and add 2 black pins to the side of the servo opposite the wires. Attach a gray 5-hole beam to the pins on the servo. Place the servo with the attached beam inside of the red frame. Then place 1 long blue pin into the center hole of the frame on the beam side. Place 2 long blue pins into the holes on the back of the frame. The pin should go 2/3 of the way in, and 1/3 of the pin should stick out from the frame. Add a gray 5-hole beam to the 2 pins on the back of the frame. Add 2 black pins to the gray 5-hole beam on the back of the assembly. These 2 pins will be used later to mount the gripper to the rover. Add 2 black pins to the front of the red frame. Next, add a yellow 7-hole beam to the pins on the front of the assembly. Flip the assembly over so the servo is facing down. Add 2 black pins to the red frame. Then add another yellow 7-hole beam to the red frame using the 2 pins you just installed. Flip the assembly back over and attach the large gray gear to the servo by aligning the X and pressing it into place. Here's what our assembly looks like so far. Now we'll set it off to the side and come back to it in a few steps. Add axles to the angled beams. We'll start the assembly of the fingers by sliding the axles into the end of the gray angled beams. Slide the 2 axles into the middle 2 holes of a second red frame. Locate 2 gray half bushings. Slide the gray half bushings onto the tops of the axles and press down against the red frame. Add the small gears. Press the 2 small gray gears down the axles so they are pressing against the half bushings. Make sure the 2 gears mesh together. Press 2 more gray half bushings down onto the axles so they're touching the gears. Then press 2 red full-size bushings down the axles so they're pressing against the half bushings you just installed. These bushings hold the axles in the red frame. If you look now, you should be able to move 1 finger and have the other mirror it. Now we'll assemble the 2 halves of the gripper together. Slide the axles into the 2 holes of the frame that holds the servo. The red frames should align. Make sure the large gear on the servo meshes properly with one of the small gears on the bottom of the assembly. Add 2 red bushings to the top of the axles that are sticking out of the top of the assembly. These should hold the axles in place so they cannot fall out. Now is a good time to check that the gears are all aligned and mesh properly. The large gear on the servo should mesh with one of the gears on the finger assembly, and the 2 small gears on the finger assembly should mesh with each other. Note that the fingers will not be exactly symmetrical due to how the gears mesh together. The large gear will be on a slightly different plane than the smaller gears. This will not affect the performance of the gripper. Add pins to I-beams. Insert 4 black pins into each of the red I-shaped beams. Add the red I-beams to both sides of the gripper. These will provide stability and hold the two halves of the assembly together. Note that if you ever have to make adjustments to the gears, you can usually do so by just removing these two I-beams. With our gripper complete, we can easily attach it to the front of the rover. Just use the pins sticking out the back of the gripper to attach it to the center of the front beam on the rover. If you'd like, you can also tuck away the wire from the servo through the body of the rover. Plug the servo connector into the row for pin 15. The orange wire should go to the pin closest to the 15 on the board, and the brown wire should go to the pin closest to the microbit. Next, download and install the test code. With the rover powered up, try it out. The A button will open the gripper and the B button will close it. Congratulations! You just built the gripper for the Bit Board Rover. Have fun as you learn, build, and code. And for more ideas, projects, and tutorials, make sure to visit browndoggadgets.com.